Welcome to this video on how to nominate to the South East talent pools from December 2019 to January 2020, and this is the pool for aspiring Chief Operating Officers and aspiring Chief People Officers. I'm Fiona Rodden and I am the Programme Lead for the Regional Talent Board in the South East, and this video is just the nutshell version to give you just a bit of a flavour of what is in our much more in-depth information pack. So if this video leaves you with any questions, excellent. Please have a look at our information pack on our website, and there are a number of links, and anything that I talk about will be found on there as well. This video is aimed at chief execs, accountable officers, managing directors, and chief operating officers and chief people officers, essentially those who are looking to nominate somebody from within your team, but also it's aimed at those who want to be nominated, either to have the conversation with your line manager or if you're looking at making a self-nomination as well. So why have a talent pool? Well, there are two key issues, I would say, that the regional talent boards across the country are all doing very similar things to try and address. And first of all, it is about vacancies at board level. Now, we know research shows us that organisations with vacancies or instability at board level lead to issues around patient care. So essentially, by doing this, it is really linked to trying to directly improve patient care. The second big driver for why we're doing this is we also know that boards are less diverse than we would like them to be. And we know that diversity at board level, both in terms of backgrounds of leaders, but also in terms of diverse thinking, improves organisational performance. So that's another big factor of what we're trying to do. So essentially we're trying to identify people, identify our talent, put people on the map so that it's not just a matter of exactly whether you're ready now, but also whether you're thinking about being ready in the next year or more. We're trying to help our organisations work together to share talent so that we are thinking about these processes more collectively, and helping to shift people's mindsets to thinking much more across silos, across organisational boundaries. We're also looking at how we can support people to taking that step up, as well as I said, improving organisational performance. So who are we looking for these talent pools? Well, there are four key factors across the talent pools that will be the same. Firstly, you're looking for an executive role in the near to middle future. So this isn't necessarily for people who think one day I would like to be an executive, but that's maybe 10 years or more. This is when you're really starting to think about this seriously and what that would look like for you. Secondly, you've been performing well at a senior management level for the last 12 months or so. So you've got a really good understanding of your own organisation and the way things are run. Perhaps you've worked across different NHS or other public sector organisations, but you've got senior management, and so you're really thinking about that next step up. Third is you have a good understanding of the role of the executive. So whether that's that you have spent some time shadowing, you've worked quite closely with your own exec, and you've done your own research. It's one of the areas we would say in other regional talent boards who are further down the line than we are, where people could really do more to look at, to research. So I've got the link further on in the video and on the website. And we've got some wonderful interviews with some of our senior leaders in the South East talking about what that step up was like for them, and what it meant, what were some of the challenges with that. So please do have a look on Twitter for those videos. And last but not least, if you're looking to join one of these talent pools, fundamentally, you are an inclusive leader, you are a compassionate leader, and you're genuinely driven to improve care. And that's not just because you have been instructed to do so, but it is something that is part of why you come to work in the morning. So we have two talent pools that you need to know about. Firstly, we have a ready now pool and a future pool, and that's for both the chief operating officers and the chief people officers. The Ready Now pool is for those who are looking to move into a Chief Operating Officer role in the next 6 to 12 months. You've looked at the success profile, the competencies in the back of the information pack, and that is set out like a bit of a workbook so you can think about what your strengths and development areas are. But you've looked at that success profile and you've thought, do you know what? I actually think I could do the majority of this. I might have a couple of small gaps, but I think I could do this. If your application to the Ready Now pool is successful, you will go through an assessment centre, which is a 2-hour assessment centre in central London, and that's so that it's commutable from all of the areas across our broad patch. The assessment centre is a robust, consistent and transparent assessment process that's independent. So it's an independent review of your expertise, your experience across, and your potential actually as well, across the different competencies in that success profile. A key thing to really remember here is we are looking for leaders from different backgrounds. So if you don't see yourself represented in your own exec in your organisation or in those that you've worked in across the NHS, but you are really interested in helping us change that, please do apply. And also, if you're not necessarily looking for a full-time role, that should not stop you from applying. So please do think about it. We know that executive roles are very challenging, but as a South East Regional Talent Board, we are looking to promote flexible working, and having leaders in our talent pool who are going to help us do that is really important to us as well. So the future talent pool is for people who aspire to executive roles in the not too distant future and have looked at the success profile and the competencies in it and recognise that there are some gaps. You might have already discussed your development plan with your line manager or not. Maybe they are not aware that you are aspiring. And likewise, if you're a nominating leader watching this video, this person may not necessarily have expressed their desire. One of our leaders who's on one of the videos on Twitter talks about, I hadn't really considered an executive role until a senior leader tapped me on the shoulder and said, I think this might be for you. So that's really key here. So there are potentially gaps in experience or competency or behaviour, but also you might need a bit more formal development in terms of, us or your manager working with you to signpost to Leadership Academy programmes. Or you might already be undertaking an aspiring director programme and don't want to go through an assessment centre at the moment, but still want to be on the map and to be considered for future opportunities. So if that's the case, that's the pool to apply for this time round. So what do we need to do now? If you're a nominating leader, the first thing to think about is the conscious decision making module. That's a link to an online module that takes under an hour and it's on our website. You may well have done previous unconscious bias training, and this is quite similar to that. It's been developed by Doyen Atawolagan and Roger Klein, who are experts nationally in inclusive recruitment, inclusive talent management and unconscious bias. So it's a really good module to undertake. It can be done at any time. And it's to help us really remind ourselves, where you've done it in the past, remind ourselves that when we are selecting people for these talent pools, when we are identifying people and raising their awareness, that we don't accidentally and unintentionally select people that we like and the people that are just like us. So have a look at that module. It's a really great reminder, even for people who've done it a number of times, just to sit down for a little bit of time to just remind yourself of some of those key issues. And then it's definitely the next stage is to have a talent conversation. Now we have a tool that we would recommend as a talent conversation tool developed by the Leadership Academy. And that's on the link on our website, but you can use your own organisational tools if those are the ones that you feel more comfortable with and you're more practiced at using. But the key thing is that you understand aspirations, motivation, potential and performance, and you have a really good open conversation about those things. Then it comes to submitting an application, and the form is the same pretty much whether you're applying to the Ready Now or the Future pool. The form is submitted by the nominee. It's really a basic CV with some terms and conditions that you need to agree to. And then we have an endorsement form. So if you're a nominating leader thinking about who you want to nominate, you can fill out a very simple endorsement form for each of those nominees and send it to them. It needs to be uploaded as part of the nomination form. And that is really, that form is intended for two key reasons, or one main reason really. It is for organisational oversight. It's so that we know that your organisation knows everybody that is being put forward, so they're not going to get any surprises. And it's to enable a useful conversation within the organisation so that we've got a bit of oversight of who's got that endorsement. But it's really important that you know that it's not mandatory. So if you are thinking of applying to the talent pool but are not sure that you will get the support of your organisation, well, we really encourage you to have that conversation with them. You can absolutely still apply without that endorsement form. If you're applying to the Ready Now talent pool, it's really important that you hold the dates of the 25th and the 26th of March in your diary. There will also be some preparatory work, which is basically going through the competencies that are in the success profile and providing evidence of how you meet them against all of those, and also doing a psychometric test. And if you are, if you're applying for that process, your line manager or your nominating leader will also need to do some preparatory work for that. And again, I reiterate, if you don't have the endorsement of your organisation, have a call with us and we can make arrangements, and it definitely shouldn't be a barrier to your applying. We're also developing a sponsorship program, which is a bit like mentoring with extras, and that is is going to be targeted at people from underrepresented groups at board level. So that is women, leaders with disabilities, and people from BAME and LGBT plus communities. So if you're from one of those groups and you are thinking about an executive job, even if you feel like you're not ready, please do apply. And we would like to set you up with a sponsor. And that isn't to say that if you're not from one of those groups that you can absolutely set up your own sponsor. It's just this program is developed because we know that people from those groups are less likely to do it for themselves. And it's just also to ensure that the sponsors who will be connected with them are fully trained in working inclusively across different underrepresented groups and some of the issues that might come up. The support that you'll get once you're in the talent pools, it's really important to note that this isn't a development program, it is a talent program. So this is predominantly about identifying our talent, our people, but you will have access to coaching and mentoring, and predominantly this is about sharing your details with prospective organisations. So where there is an opportunity coming up that we are sharing that, whether that's at board level or sub-board level, that's still being developed, but it was being developed while we're going through this process. And you can have if you've got a view on how that should happen, if you're working in those fields, please do talk to us about this. And it's also about ensuring that the talent our people have visibility within our local systems, so that people working across STPs can have oversight of the talent pool across organisational boundaries, not just within your own organisation, but you can see who's coming up from different pools locally. If you're applying to the Ready Now pool, it's also worth noting that that talent pool will be shared nationally. So if you are interested in opportunities and willing to relocate across the country, then that opens up that opportunity for you as well. For nominating leaders, there's a real benefit to not actively nominating your staff to this pool. So it could be that you see a level of readiness of this person to operating at board level, and perhaps they just need that boost, that external validation that they are ready to take that step and to support them in getting that role. It could be that you could see them being ready in the future and want to access resources outside your own organisation and to help them make connections outside of their own organisation for stretch opportunities and other initiatives. It could be that you have members within your team from underrepresented groups that you think would make excellent executives in the future and they should raise their sights. So I think there are a number of good reasons in terms of how you develop your teams. But also don't forget, you will then get access to that talent pool. And when you are looking to replace members of your team, we are hoping to have a really solid talent pool to be able to draw on across the system. Next key things are, where to look next. The talent pool nomination window closes on the 15th of January, so please do put some reminders in your diary. Have a look at the information pack on our website. We also, on that same page, have a 1-page summary, a 1-slide summary, and a 5-slide summary. So if you are having conversations with your team or at your board, there's a number of pre-created resources to enable you to have that conversation easily. The website is www.leadershipacademy.nhs.uk/SE talent pools. And do follow us on Twitter using the hashtag AspireTogetherSE. As I said, we're going to be posting a number of videos from some great leaders across the Southeast talking about what we're doing. And if on watching that video and reading that information pack and checking out Twitter and checking out our website, you've still got questions, then please email us aspiretogether.southeast@nhs.net. Thank you so much for getting to the end of this video, and I look forward to speaking to you in due course. Thanks. Bye.